This is Joni Ernst, the junior senator from Iowa. Recently, Senator Ernst held a town hall in Butler County, and let's just take a look at a clip.
These are troubling times in the United States of America. Many Americans, including me, have great concerns about the direction that our president is taking, our federal government is taking right now. We clearly have, and this is already in place, we clearly have a president who is destroying the federal government to serve his own purposes. Now he has taken over the government, and he's been very clear about it. He's been good about it. In 4 months, he's made it into a dictatorship. But this has been like a Nazi blitzkrieg, and you folks have sat and done nothing.
Obviously, I don't agree, because I don't think our country is being destroyed. On the other hand, I see that our country is being with the federal government, and because I've worked on these squeal issues for so long, I'm not squealing, ma'am.
And if it's not clear that a majority of the attendees were Democrats, it will be from this next clip.
Now, I do believe that having a president that I can actually have a conversation with on the phone and having a seat at the table, I couldn't do that with President Biden, folks. I couldn't do that with President Biden. Where was he? No, he was not. He was not present. He was not mentally capable of controlling our country. I saw it. I saw it all the time. People closest to him will acknowledge now.
The people defending Joe Biden's mental acuity are obviously living in cuckoo land and don't have a grasp on reality. Their entire worldview is, if Trump is for it, we're against it.
So we are $36 trillion in debt. Now both sides have contributed to this. But when does it end? When does it end? So we do have to, and that's why Doge is so important. The things that were not spelled out, the things that were not spelled out into the Constitution were delegated under the 10th Amendment to the states. So what we are seeing in federal government is the right sizing of the federal government and allowing the states to take up the role that our forefathers intended. Okay, does everybody agree that we should borrow money from China to send it to China? Wow. Okay, you guys, wow. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, anyway, okay. This is not a productive conversation. So anyway.
Now, the biggest moment of the town hall was when Democrats in the audience attempted to fearmonger in regards to Medicaid, and Senator Ernst pushed back.
Now, we know that there are billions of dollars that are overpaid in Medicaid every single year. If we can take those dollars and redirect them to those that need those, then we will do much better. We will do much better. Thank you.
You want to take that money and route it to people who make billions of dollars, who have more money than anybody in this room together, is absolutely absurd.
Well, I would say, Jen, that no, we're not going to cut those benefits for those children. So, no, what we are doing is making sure that those that are not Medicaid eligible are not receiving benefits.
These people are insufferable, right? No matter who the Republican on stage is, or no matter what they say, they're always gonna get heckled by Democrat activists. Anyway, the following exchange made headlines.
So when you are arguing about illegals that are receiving Medicaid benefits, 1.4 million, 1.4, they are not eligible. So they will be coming off. So people are not, well, we all are going to die. So for heaven's sakes, folks, okay.
That's a wrap. What's the point? F it, we're all gonna die, in the words of Republican Senator Joni Ernst.
Telling a voter who was worried that Medicaid cuts would cost lives, quote, "We all are going to die."
Her defense of the idea that Republicans are using this moment to slash your health care and funnel money to multimillionaires is, quote, "Well, we are all going to die."
We are all going to die. Literally what she said.
And the senator who told constituents, we're all going to die.
Comment she made at a town hall last week about death.
Yes, Joni, we know, the American people know that at some point in their lives, they are going to pass away. The cause of death should not be Republican cruelty. The cause of death should not be this disgusting abomination of a bill.
But she did say in question to a constituent about Medicaid cuts, we're all going to die, which, as we've said on this show, fact check true, that is true, we're all going to die.
We all are going to die. Peak MAGA.
I find it interesting that media figures like Nicole Wallace never take Democrat comments and completely blow them out of proportion. They only do it to Republicans. Anyway, this next clip from ABC's The View is my absolute favorite.
Been in the grave after constituents turn on Iowa Senator Joni Ernst for her answer about millions losing health care. Could this lead to grave consequences for her political future?
An Iowan tells Senator Joni Ernst that Republican cuts to critical programs will cause people to die. The response from Joni Ernst, we're all going to die. That's literally what she said. In all my years in politics, I've really never heard an answer quite like that one.
Okay, Senator Ernst was not responding to a question about Medicaid. It was a response to this woman's remark that people are going to die.
Just today, or over the last 24 hours, Senator Joni Ernst, a veteran herself who swore an oath both in uniform and outside of uniform, said in response to Medicaid cuts, "Oh, listen, we're all going to die. This is no big deal."
Her response was, "Well, we're all going to die." And that may be true, but you don't have any right to kill me.
And there it is, point blank. Republicans are going to kill me. F***ing clown world.
The spokesperson for Senator Ernst said this, quote, "While Democrats fearmonger against strengthening the integrity of Medicaid, Senator Ernst is focused on improving the lives of Iowans." Those were Iowans.
Well, to be more specific, the woman who yelled, "People will die," is India May, nurse, librarian, and currently a Democrat running for a seat in the Iowa House.
We were all saying, "That's a lie, that's a lie." And she started to respond back and forth. And I said, "People will die." And she responded directly to me.
Wow, what a hero. Now, obviously, she didn't make Joni Ernst say what she said, but India May was there specifically to try and elicit a response. So she's not quite your average concerned Iowan.
Senator Joni Ernst from Iowa was asked about some of the Medicaid cuts and said people are going to die. She responded back saying that people are going to die.
A complete misrepresentation of what actually occurred. You don't hate the media enough. But wait, there's more.
And then when Joni Ernst is asked what she's going to do about the fact that maybe 40% of children in the state of Iowa, her state, are going to be impacted by Medicaid cuts, and about 50% of seniors that are in nursing homes in her state are going to be impacted by these cuts, her response is, "Well, we're all going to die anyway." And Joni Ernst feels confident enough not only to say, "Well, you're going to die anyway," And the response is we're going to all die anyway.
Because we're all going to die anyway. They're taking away your life, your quality of life when you're going to die anyway.
Hey, you're going to die anyway.
No, agreed.
Why not sooner rather than later?
I really encourage Republicans to adopt that slogan in the 2026 congressional campaigns. Vote GOP, we're all going to die anyway.
We're going to die anyway. It makes perfect sense to cut Medicaid and shut down rural hospitals all over the country. Why? Because, look, you don't need health care. You're going to die anyway. This is, people are going to die anyway. You shouldn't worry about it. For her to, deflect and say, oh, this is, people are going to die anyway. You shouldn't worry about it. I mean, my God, how not be in touch with reality is that?
Crawl back into your hole, John Tester. Anyway, 2 days after the town hall, Senator Joni Ernst posted the following video response to the controversy.
Hello, everyone. I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely apologize for a statement that I made yesterday at my town hall. I was in the process of answering a question that had been asked by an audience member when a woman who was extremely distraught screamed out from the back corner of the auditorium, "People are going to die." And I made an incorrect assumption that everyone in the auditorium understood that, yes, we are all going to perish from this earth. So I apologize. And I'm really, really glad that I did not have to bring up the subject of the tooth fairy as well.
I'm so glad that she didn't actually apologize to the town hall attendees, especially since she didn't do anything wrong. I mean, it's not like she went Captain Kirk on their ass. Let them die.
That was the non-apology from Senator Joni Ernst, who quipped, "We're all going to die," when one of her constituents at a town hall expressed anguish over rollbacks to Medicaid.
If you were wondering, yes, Senator Joni Ernst did appear to be filming that mock apology from a cemetery.
I don't know what's going on with her. I imagine she has consultants. Maybe they were on vacation.
But then she does the creepy cemetery video that is so condescending and dripping with just disdain for her own constituents.
You actually mock people that tell you the truth, that about 40% of children in your home state depend on Medicaid for their primary health care, that up to 50% of seniors in nursing homes depend on Medicaid and the funding for Medicaid, and you're mocking them and talking about the tooth fairy? Go into a graveyard and make jokes about how everybody's going to die anyway. And she decides she's going to a cemetery and talk about the tooth fairy, and then she's trying to explain it away by talking about tooth fairies in a cemetery. I'm sorry, going to a cemetery to mock your constituents and talk about the tooth fairy.
Morning Joe's credibility on any subject will be forever shadowed by his unbridled enthusiasm for this walking corpse that was rotting in the Oval Office for 4 years.
I think he's better than he's ever been. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever.
When have you ever heard a politician who thought it was a good idea to talk about death?
They become callous and cruel and indifferent, nihilistic. For the people that largely believe in something, right? These are supposed to be the religious people too. They're really nihilists.
Existential dread, fatalism, dark forecasts of our inevitable, but hopefully, a little bit off in the distance demise is not like a strategy I've ever really seen before. Like by any politician ever, there's, it's a kind of really, it's unprecedented.
It's way over the top to talk about all of us are going to die.
Well, she's not the one that brought it up. It was the activists in the audience, you morons.
She could have walked back those initial comments. Sure, they'd always show up in a general election ad, but if she had just said, "I misspoke, of course I care about taking care of all of my constituents," this story would be over today.
She did say that, but the media wouldn't show it.
Medicaid is extremely important here in the state of Iowa. If you don't want to listen, that's fine. What you don't want to do is listen to me when I say that we are going to focus on those that are most vulnerable. Those that meet the eligibility requirements for Medicaid, we will protect. We will protect them.
On that note, that's it for now. Follow me on X at Don't Walk Run. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time. If there is next time.